Hello, happy Saturday. This is a great day already. So, I am TK and I am remarkable. Today is self care, and what is more caring than loving yourself? And so, we're going to jump right into some things. I want to make a few announcements. Today is self care and um, chakras. We're going to have a guest after my initial part, Shalise Perry. I will introduce her afterwards, but we're always wanting to expand ourselves and our spiritual tools for our remarkable well-being, right? The more you know, the more you do, right? When you have more information, you do better. So we're going to expand some tools that many of us may have heard about, but we don't really know what it is. And also, I just think it's interesting that from the surveys, many people want to focus on weight management. So we're going to do a special session on Tuesday night on the spiritual solution to weight management. And it's about changing your mindset about how you see things. And I think today's session is going to feed very nicely into that one. And also next week on the itinerary is journaling and daily affirmations. So we're getting in the meat of it now. If you haven't read the book, you need to read it now. So you'll be nice and knowledgeable, and all of this will be reinforcement for what we're doing. So I'm happy that you are all here. Please keep checking out that membership room. It has everything in it. And we're going to get right into self-care. You are not your body. Self-care is not just about maintaining your body. It is about that, but it's about so much more. You are spirit. So the way we're going to reframe our thinking is self-care is your higher self with the capital S. So we want to take care of our body, but also our spirit, because our spirit is what feeds into everything. It is the most important thing. So we're shifting. We're going to start dealing in this mindset, not of ego, which is fear or separation. We want to start looking at things through the eyes of unity and where our strength is, which is our spirit. And that's how through our spirit, body, mind alignment, we become our most powerful self, okay? And that's a self with the big S. When it's all aligned and spirit is in control, that's the beautiful way to live. And that is what is meant for us. That is our purpose. That is how we are meant to be. So I did write some things down, because I just want to just make sure you get some things that we do not forget. All things are working for your good. All. Even in this time, this series, we're calling it Conquering the COVID Blues. Because this social distancing, isolation, our money, at the same time, this social unrest, and the racism and just things that are going on in the world are very, very heavy on the world at large. There's a general malaise. What is going on is we're all connected. That's the first universal law. So the whole existence right now is a little heavy. How we help change that is first we do it in ourselves, in our higher self and our little self, and then we can become a light unto the world. So in each of us, the way we make the world a better place is to be happy and experience wellness within our own selves. And so we have to remember that all things are working for our good. And I want to just talk about last week with the Chauvin conviction. So many people are happy. And I just want to use that as an example of how to start with the self-talk and the self-understanding. Because what we do when our body and our ego and our victimhood is say, yeah, I'm happy, but I'm still mad about there needs to be more justice. We need to do all these things. And And I would say, if you've ever heard, I think Joel Osteen says this, and I've heard it other places, anything that you say after I am is powerful. Anything you say after but is powerful. It's more powerful than what you said before it. So if you said, oh, I'm tired of racism in this country, but I am so happy right now that we saw some justice today. The most powerful part of that sentence is what came after the but. You would say, yeah, that conviction is good, but I'm so da da da, and you give your power over. So we're doing power management. Your words are thoughts. They come from your thoughts. Your thoughts are units of energy. They create. You want your words, your sentences, your phrases, your paragraphs to be so powerful that you're not only are you choosing your words, but you're choosing the order that they come in. I would love it if we just said, I'm just happy today, and left it at that and just hang in that. But if we have a need to say more to recognize the negative while we're recognizing the positive, just say it first so you can get it out the way. Out of a world of, just say it's 100%, but we know it's infinite. But let's just say you got a pie of 100%. We're switching our mindset to focus. Right now, we're focusing 80% on what's bad and wrong, and only 20% on the goodness that life has to offer. Today, starting today, if you haven't already started, I want you have to, it is the way to start focusing 80% on the positive and only 20 or 0%. Start making that go to zero. Remember, we said on the first day, how you look at things is more important than what you see. So I can see tragedy all around me, but if I look at it as saying, okay, I see it, but I'm seeing that we've got work to do, and there's hope, and there's things that now, can you feel the difference in that whole countenance? So how you look at the same situation and what you do with it makes a difference. So that's very important. The second thing is the Holy Spirit is in you very literally. I had someone even say last night, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the real world, meaning, flesh and this and that and how people act and da, da, da. They're not talking about the goodness of God, because when people say that, it's like they don't believe that it's real. And I want to make an emphasis that you are more than your body, that literally you have the Spirit of God within you, that you can let lead, which you should let lead, which you must let lead if your goal is a happy life, is a life of well-being. It is the way. There's no other way. So I really want to just breathe that in so that you can feel it. So my role is to separate the truth from the false. And hopefully it'll lead you to this way of understanding in truth that'll break the barriers down to your seeing and your understanding. And then you have your own trajectory. We all have our own, what do I call it? A personal curriculum in this life. We all have our own skills and talents and all of that. So the whole point of this journey is to get you into that place of knowing how and what to do for your own well-being. And it all starts from the truth. It all starts from the same place. Ego and fear ego and spirit cannot coexist. So you cannot be fearful and happy at the same time. So when you are feeling fearful, the antidote is to get in the spirit. And how do we do that? Through meditating, prayer, through doing a kindness for someone else, through breath work, through being still, through remembering, all things are working for my good. Even this, I might not be able to see it now, but in the spiritual realm, I know that I am learning a lesson and I can take this tool and make it work for me. So I am going to do today by way of the rest of this, by way of a meditation. So get comfortable. I told you this isn't a class, this isn't a talk that you're going to be able to do while you're multitasking. because the spirit, and that we're all connected, it needs attention. It's called presence for awakening. Multitasking is what your mind does all the time, which is junk. It's noisy. It keeps you, it's like the ego, it keeps you obscured from spirit. It wants to tell you to focus on your to-do list. It wants to tell you to focus on your hurt or your pain. It wants to focus on some type of competition. You want to focus on the spirit. So we're going to get ready to, and so we want you focused, present. We're going to do a nice visual meditation, a story, a journey that's going to really get you to a point where you'll understand and want to participate in your own self-care in a whole different way. Happiness is healing, and healing is happiness. So when you get in a space of happiness, you help heal your body, you help heal people around you because you become a light. And so that is where we're going as the tool or foundation for everything that we do. And I'm calling it radical self-care. And we also often call it sustainable self-care, because once you start doing it in this way, it lifts so many things, like water rising in a tub. Everything floats. And before we go into this meditation, so I'm giving you a little bit of time to get in your sacred space and get comfortable and have a sip of water or whatever, to really remember you are not your body. And this is important for self-care, because your body is a container that houses your soul. And the chakra conversation is going to be really nice after it, because you'll see the energy around the spirit and soul and how it works. Your body is a temple. So it is important as a container, but imagine what's most important about the temple, about any temple or sacred space. It's not the structure, it's what's in it. The temple represents, but what's in it is the altar, is the spirit of concentrated, where you can sort of have reverence. So you're housing, this body is housing your spirit. It's a house. You should respect it. You should take care of it, because your spirit, God, the God within you, is so important. And God only wants to experience himself through you. So it is important. But what's most important is the spiritual piece. We got it backwards. We got it mixed up. We keep thinking, oh, I gained weight, and I'm guilty. But you always come back to, well, people still think I look good. Like it's my judgment of me, or my judgment of thinking what other people might think or see through me, that what makes me feel bad. But when I'm like, people still don't see me great. So I'm only one abusing myself. I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to see my eyes through the eyes of the God within them. And guess what? I'm also going to see them through the eyes of God within me, because how I look at things is more important than what I see. How I look at things shapes what I see. So you see the beauty in me, and I see the beauty in you. And we say, namaste. Got it? Oh, that's so beautiful. I had to say that before we go into this meditation. It's going to set the stage. Clear your minds. And this meditation is going to be a visual one. So I am going to share my screen, and I am going to have some background music, because in the surveys also, people like experiential learning a lot. And I find I like these journeys too, because they're real. Like, you think about it, you can actually take yourself to a happy place and stay there. So I am going to start with some good little music and share my screen. Uh-oh. Hold on. So start with taking a few deep breaths. And getting centered. And we'll see if I do this right. I am sharing my screen, and Evan will tell me if I'm not. Take a few deep breaths. Self-care. In the beginning, there was a vast sea of spirit, which is Source, the author of all that is, that wished to know itself. Eternal and infinite in essence, Source created infinite experiences and forms through which to experience itself. And from this thought in the mind of God, all things exist and were created. This unity is understanding number one. Beautiful expressions of spirit were formed in the formless, all with the purpose of joyful and loving, harmonious existence, ebbing and flowing within and throughout one another in pleasing interactions, attracting to one another, living in purpose and experience. This is the operating system of all that is, which is God's creation. This is the law of attraction or magnetism. This is the understanding number two, the method of spiritual technology. It is the action of giving and receiving in constant motion. This is love. All of these non-formed spirits in which we all exist and exist in each of us knew they were always a part of the source and knew their purpose, which was to experience all things for the enjoyment of source, which also gave them enjoyment. All was harmonious and well, and the existence of God stayed in their awareness. In their wandering, these spirits began to turn their thought energy further away from the thoughts of source and forgot their primary mission. They began to want to have their own experiences, which were separate from the will of God. In reality, they can never be separate because God is the essence of all existence. But their memory faded and they began living in the illusion that they are separate and even more powerful than God. This is the fuzzy veil through which we pursue our own desires and forget God's will and purpose for our lives, which is goodness, always happiness, and always pure. Although these beings exist in the all, they focused their attention on a separate framework and created an illusionary boundary and made their desire the one of ego, trusting in their own thoughts instead of the mind of God. Over time, though they were a part of God, the veil became so thick, they forgot the power of God, the unifying principle and the purpose of their existence. Ego took over. Ego became so strong in these beings that they didn't even know they were hiding. They cut themselves off from the power of infinite possibilities of joy. They could not receive the divine wisdom and joyful harmony that existed in their higher selves. Source recognized this wandering that was miscreating, causing dis-ease and troubles, a growing separation, and began to create a dream that's not real. So God infused the Holy Spirit, the spirit that's within all spirit, that it could reach all and translate the message of Source back into each being, into all of creation, reminding us of what we have all forgotten so that we can be brought back into the light. Only in this light can we again know the divine purpose, to live in harmony with all things and find happiness again. This is your path to enlightenment. This is through spirit. As the veil lifted, the higher self is able to bring the lower self back into harmony with God. However, there still exists another perceived barrier to overcome. We are not separate from other spirits. My light joins with your light. That is the oneness of God. The Holy Spirit sends messengers to explain to the little selves that we're living a dream and that in unity, it's not enough to feel your own self as an expression of Source. We live in relationship to one another. True happiness comes from being in relationship to all that is and to others. Giving is necessary to receive. Through prayer and meditation, the channels through which to connect to God and spirit, we're reminded of this inherent innocence within us and within all of our brothers and sisters. And that in this unity relationship with all other beings, we gain access to wisdom, purpose, divine knowledge, healing in all good things, joy, abundance, peace, love, health, well-being, prosperity. This is understanding number 3. The veil is lifted and sight is restored. Purpose is remembered. As the knowledge is obtained by the spirit, its vibration grows. The love and the light of all things meld together. The individual spirits again set the intention of love and joy for their existence in this fabric of oneness. It brings light into your life and into the lives of others. As more participate in this forgiveness of past forgetting, the original vibration of love is restored. The lost, wandering, and forgetful ones are healed. And peace, the peace of God, which never really left us, except through the illusion of ego, is restored. We live in harmony again and manifest unlimited possibilities, not excluded by the barrier of the veil. This is where your happiness abides. You are a spirit. You are spirit. Self-care at its best is an awakening or a resetting of your vision back into alignment with Source. It's a remembering that in this place, When your spirit is in alignment with purpose, which is the will of God, you have clarity. Your path is made clear. Life is good, happy, healthy, joyous, prosperous, and without limitation. You are more than your body. You are divine. We become the light again in stillness and harmony. And this is the spiritual technology that emits remarkable wellness. It is the alignment of mind, body, and spirit with the source through love and the magnetism of attraction of all good things, which is God. And so it is. And you can start to come back. So I hope that meditation gets you in this spirit, this understanding, a reminder, a refreshing, a refreshment of who you really are, about how important spirit is in life and all that we have and we are living. So thank you. They said it was beautiful. I am glad. So I always feel good. I want us to sit in that for just a minute and look around, think of the things that we're appreciating. And I want to be quiet for a minute. Okay. I am going to bring on our speaker who's going to talk about chakras. And I'm not going to say much about chakras because she is. What I am going to do is introduce her real quick. So let me find her bio that I pulled up. I know I did. Okay. We are about to be joined by Shalise Perry, a professional certified coach, a life coach, and a Reiki master. She focuses on helping the government and corporations who struggle with important challenges like diversity, equity, and inclusion, compassion, resilience, and collaboration, and she helps them with overall well-being. After 15 years of experience, she's become an expert, and she helps her clients develop tangible solutions. And what we're doing is non-form, but very tangible, very real. She's a busy entrepreneur. She is going deeper and more heavily into this wellness space. I'm happy to know her for over 30 years. She is also a rattler. So family on here, y'all might want to reach out to her as well. And I want to invite Shalise Perry, our wellness executive coach, our Reiki master, to join us to talk about chakras.
Hello, everyone. And thank you so much, Tanya, just for inviting me to this space today. Thank you so much for that beautiful meditation. And it just grounded us for what we're going to talk about today. So thank you so much. So what I'd like to do just to ground us into this next part of our journey this morning or this afternoon is I have a little card here, and I'm going to read it to you. It says, "The moment I realign with love, clear direction is presented to me." And what I want to say about that is just to connect the dots in terms of radical love, radical self-love is when the clear direction is presented to me. And to just mirror what Tanya said, we, first of all, have everything inside of us to heal us, right? And I'm going to connect in this moment my higher self to your higher self. And we're going to explore chakras, yes, as being just yet another tool in your toolkit. Because ultimately, what we're looking to do with this radical self-love is to liberate us all, so that we come back into alignment spiritually, physically, emotionally, and mentally. All right. And the beauty of the chakra system is that it covers all of those bases. So that's why it's something very important to add to the toolkit. So whatever resonates, and this is what I also like to say, trust your higher self. Take what resonates, filter things that may not, and we're going to go right in. So this is what my time with you is going to look like. We're going to do a review of the chakras top line. We're going to focus in on 3 of those chakras. We'll do an overview of all, but 3 of those chakras. And where spirit has directed me, as well as what Tanya shared with me in terms of the focus areas based on the survey, are number 1, finding purpose, 2, weight management, 3, healing, and 4, sleep. And what I'd like to offer to everyone here is the foundation by which all of those things will be addressed is through our healing. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I am going to share my screen, and we're going to do a brief overview of the chakras. All right, so you see this image here, you see this wonderful physical body, and in this physical body, we have these different energetic, subtle energies that travel throughout our body. When you see the base, that is your root chakra. You travel up to your sacral chakra. And as you see, you travel up through different portions of your body. So I wanted to give you this visual. And I want to also make sure to remind you, please take notes, because one of the intentions that I have of this time with you is for you to leave with tools that you can use today that can assist you on your remarkable journey towards greater and sustainable well-being. So I'm going to continue forward in terms of understanding the chakras. And I'm not going to read this entire page here, but essentially chakras are energy vortexes, those different areas where you saw the colors, and I'm going to go back, where you saw these colors. They're energy vortexes. Imagine them like a spinning wheel of light. And when they're healthy, you see they're vibrant. You see the reds and the oranges and the yellows, and they're vibrant when they're healthy. When they're not, and when they are out of alignment, just imagine them to be more muted. So imagine this, when we were born, we came out with the vibrant chakra system. But through the course of things that happen in life, different traumas, and just basically living here in this human experience, things happen where the chakras become dull, right? And they become out of alignment. But there are ways that we can bring things back into alignment so that we can once again be shining brightly. Now, the chakras, I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a moment. The chakra system has been around for what we know, and our first noticing of them were in an ancient Indian text called the Vedas, back about 1500 to 1000 BC. So it's been around, tried and true, tested for a very, very long time. And as a result, in modern day, and I'm going to share my screen again, in modern day, you may see or have been introduced to the chakra system through yoga, for example, or Reiki, or wherever. I mean, there are different ways that chakras have been introduced. Now I'm going to go up here and we're going to dial in a little bit deeper. And just for your awareness, what I'm sharing here is I've developed a program called Aligned Chakras for Business. But just take that business out of there and put Aligned Chakras for Life, because all of it centers around on life and centers around our well-being. So we're going to start first. And again, it says business foundation, but we're going to say life foundation. Your root chakra, that's the very first chakra at the base. This chakra is let go of the fears and anxieties, enhance your self-awareness and productivity, and to feel grounded. The second one, the sacral chakra, that is the center of your creativity. And then the third chakra, the solar plexus, it holds your personal power, self-worth, and confidence. And I just want to let you know today, we're going to hone in on the foundation. We're going to hone in on these three. But as you continue, you have your heart chakra. The heart chakra represents your sense of love, compassion, and acceptance. Next is your throat chakra, which represents communication and speaking your truth, and of course, listening. And then as you continue to travel, you come to this place of where you call your transformation, life transformation, the enlightenment. And that's where you have your third eye, which is your sixth sense, your intuitive abilities, and then your crown chakra, which represents your ability to connect to something bigger than ourselves. All righty. So we're going to continue, and we're going to continue this journey together. And we're going to first start with your root chakra. As I discuss this, I'm going to center it around and align it to the weight loss journey. But this is that's going to be a part of it, but it's going to be bigger than that. So let me just preface this with that. So when we're looking at our root chakra, for example, and our root chakra is out of alignment, our root chakra is not vibrantly shining the way that it should as a healthy, energetic space within our being. These are some of the things that come up. Fear and scarcity. From an eating standpoint, we may compulsively overeat, or we may hoard food. And what I want to also say about this with your root chakra, a lot of emotions come from this area because it's the basis of which we find ourselves feeling safe and secure. And follow me here. Oftentimes we find ourselves out of balance or out of alignment in this area because we have wounds. We may have trauma. And a lot of times it stems from sometimes the parental relationships we have, and sometimes most specifically with the maternal side of that, because that is usually the first place that we find our security and our love and our acceptance. All right. So I want to draw us to that because oftentimes there needs to be an emotional healing associated with all of these things that we're talking about, to include weight loss, okay, or weight management. So before we continue, because one of the things that I wanted to do is to give us all tools and also ways to experience what the healing is and how we can heal, specifically the root chakra. So what I'm going to invite you to do in this moment is very similar to what the beautiful meditation that we just experienced together. We're going to experience something similar that's focused in on our root chakra. So what I'm going to invite you to do is, whether you're sitting, you can be sitting, just have your feet planted on the ground. If you're lying down, just make sure the most important thing is that your spine is straight. Close your eyes or lower your gaze, and we're going to move forward. So the thing that I want you to think about is, perhaps in your past, there wasn't enough food, and that compelled you to eat at every opportunity. All right. Or let's say there's an emotional wound that causes you to try to fill yourself, let's say, with food. Right. So here's the visualization. Close your eyes. I want you to take a deep breath. Just exhale, and this is going to be easy, and we're going to allow it to flow. So I'm just going to read this to you in this moment. All right. And this is to help you feel grounded and connected to your root chakra. So either you're sitting upright in your chair or on the floor, preferably either on the chair or the floor, because I would like for you to plant your feet. Close your eyes and begin to breathe slowly and deeply through your nose, closing the lips gently, letting the spine be straight. And I want you to start noticing the sensation of the floor, or visualize the earth beneath you, under your feet and your hips. I want you to feel how solid the ground is and how supported you are. Begin to imagine roots growing from your feet and the base of your spine, deep into the earth, knowing that all the nutrients and life forces you will ever need are all right there, all the time. Let the roots grow into a strong, solid trunk up your spine, bringing with them nourishment and comfort until you can imagine the branches reaching out to the sun. See if you can feel the energy and sustenance from the earth, Mother Earth, filling you with strength and security. What does it feel like to know that you have everything you need? The tree grows tall and strong, using exactly what it needs. No more, no less. As you feel yourself fully connected to the earth, trust that you too will flourish and grow strong, satisfied and content, secure in the feeling of abundance. And I invite you to sit with this feeling as long as you like, as often as you like, and as often as you can. Work towards resetting your root chakra to truly know, believe, and act on the truth that you don't need to overeat out of fear or a wrong belief that you won't have enough. When the opportunity comes to be mindful, to not eat more than you really need, take a moment to reflect on the strength and security of your root chakra, your base. Now, I'm going to continue. The reason why it's important and the reason why I started with the root chakra is because the root chakra is the base by which we travel up to this thing, as Tanya said, of enlightenment. And if our root chakra is out of balance, then everything is going to be out of balance. So I invite you to practice this visualization. And it doesn't have to be verbatim what I said, but just connect to Mother Earth. Connecting to Mother Earth connects you to that root chakra, allows for healing of the emotions of the mother wound. Allow the root chakra, allow Mother Earth to sustain you and heal you and be the source of strength as you continue to heal. Now, what I'd like to do is I'd like to also move to our sacral chakra as we travel up. The sacral chakra, if you remember, is represented by the color orange, and then your solar plexus. And what I want to say here is, as I mentioned earlier, it's your sacral is the root of your creativity, and your solar plexus is your self-worth, your confidence, and all of those things that ground us to show up in an empowered way. And when they're out of balance, I think we can all figure out that if they're out of balance, then we're not going to feel empowered. We may feel like a victim. We may lose our creativity. We may just feel an overall dullness in our lives. And what I want to draw our attention to in this moment and where we are in this, just even in the course of this week, in the course of the pandemic and the social unrest, is that we are also carrying the collective energy of everything that's swirling around us, all of it. The stress, the emotions, the anger, the frustration, all of those things are orbiting around us, right? And as a result, if we are not intentional about setting boundaries around that, it impacts us mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. And how that may manifest in our bodies, right, is that we may carry a lot of weight in our mid area, from that sacral to that solar. And this is what I want to say about that. It is our body's way, and to some degree, our spirit's way of protecting us from that energy, because maybe we have not learned the skills to set those boundaries. And if we are, and I'm going to throw this label out of an empath, and essentially a very empathic person or a spiritually sensitive person, it's even that much more important, because we are taking on the energy in a different way. Let's say a more amplified, magnified way. And as a result, we may utilize this midsection area as a source of protection, right? But once we have an awareness about this, then we can send love to that area, right? And we can heal it. But what I want to say about all of these things, it's a practice. It's not, well, today I'll do this and I'll focus in on it and boom, I'm healed. Or I follow these 10 steps and I'm good. This is a journey. This is a daily practice. But what I want to encourage you with is, by regular practice, you will see sustainable results. You will feel at peace. You will feel harmony. You will feel all of those emotions, right? Those positive emotions. And what this allows you to do, the chakra system, as well as other energetic tools that we use to heal ourselves, it allows us to get away from the things that are sabotaging us, right? Those negative things, that negative self-talk, that self-doubt, that unworthiness, and move over to this side of the sage, okay? Those sage things, the love, the joy, the freedom, the liberation, all of those things that we all so desperately want, but oftentimes it's elusive, because as Tanya said, we're over here 80% of the time. And those things that are those saboteurs. So the challenge is to quiet the noise on all of this stuff over here, right? And amplify the stuff over here, the sage things, our chakras, our energy system, our alignment to source. All right. So when we think about this, coming back to the chakras, the sacral and the solar plexus, and just something to put in your toolkit, if you will, is a lot of what's happening right now collectively is a lot of water retention, right? In that mid area. So one of the things that I'd invite you to do, that you can start doing now, if you're not already, is first thing in the morning, hydrate. Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate. And as a matter of fact, hold yourself accountable to hydration. But that first morning hydration, allow that to be warm water with either lemon or lime. And if you're brave, put a sprinkling of cayenne in there. And if you even want to amp it up even more, excuse me, put some ginger in there and drink that first thing in the morning, because it allows you to hydrate and start to release the toxins right off the bat, right as you start your day, right as you launch yourself, if you will, to the day ahead. And then it's very important throughout your day to continue to hydrate, right? It not only helps you physically, it also helps you spiritually, emotionally as well. It allows the brain fog and your energy system. It allows you to be more energetic, because you're hydrated. So I wanted to share that with you. I also want to leave you with this as it relates to all three of these chakras that we've been focusing on as another tool. And I'm going to share with you some crystals, right? Because one of the things that are very important that are in my toolkit, and I hope and invite you to include in yours, is crystals, aromatherapy, color therapy. All of these things are yet ways to align ourselves and to bring us into this alignment holistically. All right, so here we go. I'm going to share with you first. This is a red avertine, right? This is very good for balancing your root chakra. And I'm going to tell you right now, you can write this down. If you want to get more detailed, and this is one of the most detailed sites that I've found that give you the richness of all of the applications of the crystals. It's called crystalvault.com. crystalvault.com. So this is a very good crystal for your root chakra. All right. The other that I want to share with you is Carnelian. Okay. And this is a very, very powerful, I'm going to got three different kinds. You see here, I have a little bowl with some of my smaller crystals. Okay. And this is Carnelian. Carnelian combined with, and I'll pull it out from here, my necklace, tiger's eye. Okay. Because tiger's eye is more for your solar plexus, and carnelian is more for your sacral. See, like on the color orange. Also for your solar, definitely citrine, but for purposes of this, I would recommend tiger's eye and carnelian. It allows you to balance and align those chakras. So with the combination of those three, it will assist you in the healing and the alignment of your root chakra, your sacral chakra, and your solar plexus. All right. So the other thing that I want to mention as it relates, just as something else that's in your toolkit for that mid area, that's sacral and that's solar, is to put your hands, if you see this, it's almost like a diamond, in the area of your belly, the connection between your sacral and your belly, right? And you can do a meditation or breathing exercise at any point during the day where you are feeling like, you know what, I'm maybe feeling out of control in terms of my urges for eating, or maybe something happened where emotionally I'm feeling like I'm losing my grounding. And I just want to have a quick connection back to self, back to my higher self. You place your hands there and just do some cleansing breaths. Just three. And that'll allow you to center and ground. And also throughout the course of your day, plant your feet. Connect to your root, right? And during the course of your day, when we talk about this, radical self-love, oftentimes we think of, well, I'm going to go get a facial. I'm going to go get a massage. And those things are great. I love all of those things, but we got to pull out the daily practices, right? The things that over time are the things that are going to change the structure by which you exist today, if you choose to embody them. Things like, instead of scrolling on social media during your lunch hour, perhaps going outside for a walk and connecting to your root chakra and to Mother Earth. Taking your shoes off and planting your feet in the grass. If you're close to the ocean or a beach, putting your feet in the sand, right? And throughout all of these things that you're doing, whether you're able to go outside or not, envisioning source God, universe, heavens, that bright white light coming from the top of your head, from the crown, all the way through your body, through your arms, through your heart, your throat, your heart, your belly, your sacral, your root, and all the way down your thighs, your lower legs and your feet, and just feeling that light going through your body and connecting those branches and those roots, and trusting that you are rooted, that you will be taken care of, that you are secure, and that everything is working out for your highest and greatest good. For your highest and greatest good. So as I'm closing here today, first, I want to just say thank you for allowing me into your space, into your sacred space. My hope is that you were able to take a few nuggets of either inspiration or new things to pull out of your toolkit. And I'd also like to leave you with how you can get in touch with me. It's very easy. Everything is at Shalise Perry. My website is shaliseperryllc.com. You can sign up for a monthly newsletter where I give different tools and tips for well-being. You can find me on Instagram at Shalise Perry as well, and I post pretty much daily something pertaining to our overall well-being and spiritual healing, as well as Facebook. And I'm also a sprinkling of YouTube, and also just most recently on TikTok with a few lifeisms. And again, that is at Shalise Perry. I also want to remind you that if you want to explore crystal healing in more detail, go to crystalvault.com. And I have shared crystals with you today, but this is what I usually tell people. Find your local crystal shop or metaphysical shop, or go online. And this is what I say: look to see what your higher self draws you to, and go there. Go there. The crystal will find you. That's what I want to say. The crystal will find you. So as we close out in this radical self-love, self-care, this liberating moment that we can choose, here's the thing, that we can choose to embody and choose to embrace, to choose to make the choice on a daily basis to that 20%, keep it over there and amplify that 80%, those sage abilities, those sage traits. And as I close out, the moment I realign, and this is what I'm going to put in there, that I choose, because it's a choice, to realign with love, self-love, self-care, clear direction is presented to me. Thank you so much. And if there are any questions, I would love to answer them.
Thank you so much. I loved everything about that.
You are so welcome.
Okay. Please start to put your questions in the chat, and you can come on as normal. And while you're getting your questions or comments for me or Shalise on anything today, I want to say a few things and ask Shalise a few questions. One, I forgot to mention early on, the calendar invite says 60 minutes, and we meant to correct that. So I apologize to anyone who's been thinking, we sure are going over long. This is meant to be 90 minutes. So we will correct that calendar invite. This is 90 minutes because it's just a lot. It's just so juicy. It's so good. Shalise, I know about crystals, and I don't want y'all to judge me, but I have to say it was so funny. So I have some in my bra. You put them next to you. See what I got? And this is my rose, because love and everything that we're doing here today, yes. My rose quartz. I have a couple more on the other side, but we're going to leave that there.
Love it.
So crystals, I love the introduction. There's so many tools and things we can do. So when you take this mindset and then you add it to everything, it's important. So I want to say this about self-care. I see we have a question. Yes. I'm going to let Shalise answer this. Self-care of massages, nails, hair, all that, like Shalise said, it's fine, but it's only the surface, right? It's only this body, and you are so much more than your body. And so I want you, but you can still do the same things and honor your spirit. It could look the same. Getting your hair done in our tradition, or in the African tradition, in some traditions, the hair, the crown, and all this, it's its own spiritual thing, right? So you can go get your hair done and your nails done, but you have to impress upon it, understanding number 3, right? Your intention, your gratitude for all that God has, and then that's bigger self-care. That's radical with the big S. So now on the outside, you've taken care of your temple, but what more so, you fed the altar, you've worshiped, you've powered your spirit from the inside. And so I love to think of these colors. So I'm going to be quiet for a while and let the questions come through for Shalise.
Perfect. I saw the first question that came through, and the question was, how do I clean my crystals? Okay. So one of the best ways, obviously, you can put your crystals out when there's a full moon. You can put them outside and allow them to, one, be recharged and cleaned and cleansed. The other thing, and I don't know, if, you can probably see it in the background, I have a selenite lamp that's burning, the very top one. You can also put your crystals next to the selenite lamp. That'll allow it to cleanse them. And like this is selenite, and I have crystals inside of here. So that's the best way. And what I want to say too is, if you want the master self-healing crystal, it's clear quartz. Clear quartz.
Got that one here.
Yes, yes, yes.
And it amplifies everything else too.
It absolutely does. It absolutely does. Oh, okay. And I see another question here. Do you have a recommendation for learning more about chakras? So here's the thing. If any of this resonated with you, the seed has been planted. And this is what I'm going to say. You're going to start seeing things about chakras in your realm now more than you ever have before. My journey to chakras and understanding chakras was through my Reiki training. I didn't find my Reiki training. The Reiki training found me, right? And so the first thing that I'd say is, obviously, you can Google it. You can learn. There are lots of books that are out there. And what I'll do is I'll leave a couple with Tanya after, because I don't have them handy right now. But there are some books. I'd say Google it. I'd also say something that will activate your quest, if you will, is to start meditating on your chakras. And there are free meditations on YouTube. You can pull it up. You can say, you know what? Some of the stuff that she said about root chakra, that's intriguing. Go to YouTube, pull up a root chakra meditation. Start meditating on that very base chakra, and it will open you up and activate your quest. And also, the other thing I'm going to say, if you want to learn more about them, I invite you to spend some time right here with me. I offer 30-minute complimentary consultations to explore whether or not long-term work is in alignment for the two of us, or it just sets you on your pathway to further knowledge around the chakra system.
Keep them coming if you have any more. So the way I think about, and I want everyone to recognize that, and I can never say it enough, what is in the one is in the whole, and what is in the whole is in the one. This is this mindset. So you're seeing how your body is aligned. You see how all these things Shalise is talking about aligns with everything we've been talking about. You see how you can heal your problems. Healing is happiness. Healing is the way. And I'm going to throw out, until we have some more questions, forgiveness. How you clean and clear yourself, the blockage, that meditation we did earlier, that line, that barrier is an energy, a dense energy that keeps you from the receiving, from this flow of energy. And what Shalise, talked about chakra, so you can identify. I asked someone, I think it was Sandra on here, she had heart palpitations. I was like, ooh, that's the heart chakra. What's going on? So you can also self-identify.
Absolutely.
And use this, then go Google it, then go see what crystals work for these. for these heart palpitations, or for this, my sciatica. I have sciatica. I'm like, ooh, I'm starting to pull in all my tools. I'm starting to collect. I collected snow water. You know, you start to collect a different way, and now the access of all these tools are opening up to us. Our moderator, Evan.
Yeah, I think you froze for a little sec. We got a hand up over here, though.
All right.
Okay.
So
let's see. Who's coming on?
Devette.
Hi, Devette. Hey, I'm so happy you made it. You're on mute. Do you want to come on camera? But you have to come off mute.
I just wanted to say, I mean, I must have accidentally raised my hand because I've been driving from the beach and listening. And I just will say, since I accidentally logged in, I appreciate the knowledge about chakras, and it really is just a whole nother realm. And I'm just really interested in listening and kind of learning more. And I'm going to have to go back and listen to the session again. So anyway, I'm not going to hold up anybody, but sorry, I accidentally raised my hand, but I'm enjoying the session, and I've just been on a trip. So.
Well, I'm glad you're here, and I'm glad you were at the beach. So we know you were with earth and nature, and I wish I had a beach close by.
So Tanya, I just want to piggyback on something you just said a moment ago about forgiveness and how important that is to activating our healing and our alignment. And that goes right back to that root chakra and that mother wound that I talk about. And the importance of identifying that and doing work around that healing, because when you think about it, that's the root of by which your physical body, being a child, your parent, and a lot of times your mom, if that original wound has not been healed, it impacts on everything. It impacts on everything. So I invite folks, when you start thinking about this, is setting the intention when you do the root chakra motivation meditation, to really set the intention to have a forgiving heart and to forgive whomever that is. Because if we hold on to that, then it creates so much noise that all these other things that we're trying to do, whether that be weight management, finding our purpose, sleeping well, it's going to be negatively impacted if we don't deal with that other stuff.
Yes. Forgiveness is the answer to everything.
Yes.
Forgiveness is healing. All these things work together. And I also wanted to point out, look at Shalisa's arm and look at mine. When you start to learn about this stuff, you just infuse your everything. You know, because it's like, why not? I can be protected. I'm wear a bracelet or earring or whatever. Anyway, I can have a crystal. I can put it in my bra. I can, but and it's just energetic things that help. But forgiveness. So you ask yourself, who can I forgive? Who am I not forgiving? We have plenty. And my friends, you've heard me say it. Who was my practice for the last 4 or 5 years? Donald Trump. I practice not focusing on some type of, you can disagree, you can even observe an injustice without taking it on the anger or hate of baggage that goes with it, because that anger and hate causes physiological responses in your body, and that's what creates disease.
Yes.
That's what creates unhappiness. So this forgiveness, it goes through these energy systems. It clogs you up. It gets, I'm so mad, I want to spit. That's my throat, and think about this. I'm going to throw this in, and Shalisa, I want you to talk about this, because when I realized where the truth is, you hear this stuff all this time. I have a gut feeling.
Yes.
You're a pain in my neck.
Yes.
I have had, they're all, when you think about many of these sayings, they come from that energy system.
Absolutely.
I'm choking on my words.
Yes.
the communication chakra. You know, this is another way of self-diagnosing, self-healing, putting that energy into things. And it's fun. It really is fun.
Yes. No, to your point, you know, absolutely, those sayings are aligned with these energy centers. Even like you mentioned, your heartache. You know, when your feelings get hurt, you know, your heart hurts. There's a reason for that. You physically feel it. So here's the thing. One of the goals in this journey is to have a greater level of self-awareness. So we start to notice these things. We become so attuned to ourselves that we notice, oh, I'm feeling a tightness in my gut right now, or an uneasiness in my gut around this person, for example. That's your body's way of telling you that, you know, there may be some energy here that might not be in alignment. I'll just say might not be in alignment with yours. I'm just going to keep it there. I'm going to say it there. And you start to heed those things. So here's the thing. In terms of being empowered, it's one thing to have a self-awareness about it. Okay, I notice it. But to become empowered is to actually use your tools, right? Is to take some action around it. And that's why I say it's so important to have, because for different things, you may pull something different out of your toolkit, right? But to your point, yes, tightness in your throat, sometimes headaches can be as a result of energy being off. And also too, here's the other thing, when you talk about that intuition, for example, one of the biggest benefits that I personally find, and I'm sure others do as well, in terms of the meditative practice, is heightening my intuitive abilities. We all have intuitive abilities. We just lost them when we were kids because people would make you question them. No, girl, you don't feel that way. Or you're too sensitive. You all have heard it. And we start to shut that stuff down.
Yes. I wrote 2 blogs I invite everybody to check out on my remarkablewellness.us website, Mindfulness Matter blog. 2 parts. Why are you afraid of your spiritual powers?
Mm-hmm.
So at least it's what we all have, these powers, but we're afraid of them because we're afraid someone's going to laugh at them, or did that really happen? So I want to say, I just earlier this morning, I've been noticing it lately, and maybe it's this Zoom thing, but I've been noticing, being on camera, that this eye is smaller than this eye. And I was like, what is going on? As I get older, it's like, it freaks me out sometimes. And my husband said, I don't see what you're seeing.
I don't see it.
But I know, but hold up. Here's what's funny. And I'm going to share this because I have been trying to hone in my psychic abilities, my third eye.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like maybe it's pushing this eye down. But I'm aware, there's an awareness which maybe is why I'm even looking at my eyes like that, you know, because I am like actively talking about it, trying to, you know, astral project or just imagining, envisioning. And so I am literally spending time in this area more.
Yes.
Maybe too much time, but I'm seeing things, but I don't know.
Well, you know, and perhaps it's just a reminder that it's less about these.
All I said is I don't like.
Evan, did you mean to say something?
Yeah, sorry, I just started cutting in. My bad. Keep going.
Okay. I was looking to see if there was another question.
Yeah. So if there are questions, bring them on now. I do want to say, I love the idea of the water. I can tell you in the last journey or in a couple journeys, which I hadn't said this time, I say it definitely with mindful eating, but it's worth repeating. Making that first beverage in the morning before your cup of coffee, water, it's just, it's purifying. That's what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to get the crud out and let the goodness in. Water is one of the 4 elements. And when you can go get natural water, beach water, snow water. I mean, I literally pack my pitcher with snow and let it melt because it snowed this week where I live, y'all. Ugh. So, so all of those healing things you can start to incorporate. I'll use it and water my plants, you know, and things like that. But I love, Shalise, the formula you gave, because I do drink hot water with lemon sometimes and ginger.
Mhm.
But I haven't made that a morning routine. I'll just drink a cup just to get it down before I have some coffee, which I'm about to start putting the caffeine aside for a minute. But I love this warm water, lemon, ginger done, and a dash of cayenne. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add that cayenne. And if anyone's been looking at superfoods, ginger and cayenne,
yes,
throw in some turmeric or things like that.
yes.
And you can just drink it. And it's going to help with your appetite. And also, you've heard a lot about gut health and probiotics and all that. So when you drink, imagine, and we'll talk about this more when we do mindful eating, maybe even Tuesday session. The things you've eaten, especially if you're still eating meat and beef, imagine what's happening to that beef when it's sitting out on your counter, or you wouldn't let that sit out there overnight. So if you have a sluggish digestive system, it's already going to take 8 hours for that beef to digest. It's rotten in your stomach. What you're wanting is a clean, fast, high metabolic digestive system. So when you drink these powerful things in the morning, though, it helps to get the bacteria that's hanging out in your gut. It helps to flush it out in the first thing in the morning. So you're helping yourself. Not a hard thing to do, but with remarkable results. And what it does, we talked about setting your mindset, setting a context for the day, starting with meditation. Now you can throw some crystals in there. Now you can meditate on your chakras. Now you can get a glass of water and you've set yourself up for a clean, happy day. How do you have a better day? We said this last week. A good day starts with a good morning. I'd say drink a glass before you go to bed too, but I be having to go to the bathroom so much. I have to stop at 7 o'clock. It's my age, y'all. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
I know.
So any other questions? I really got a lot out of that. Shalise, I've been looking at, I have some books on crystals. Please send us your maybe 2 book recommendations, and we'll add them to the member page. So as a resource that people can go back to. And those will be our book recommendations for this week, because I didn't actually think to have any. None popped out at me this week. So I'm glad that we will have the books that Shalise will recommend on crystals.
Perfect. So if there are no more questions, I guess I'll bounce off and let you close.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Take care.
Oh, that was so great. Okay, you guys. Please, there's a few more people I would love to get surveys from, and it is time to set up one-on-ones with me. The link is in the reminder emails that you get after each of these sessions. It's in the membership room. We've tried to make it super duper easy to have access to all of this information. So let's set up the one-on-ones and let's get deeper into this. The things that we're talking about, and you can tell, like, just sort of, Shalise and I haven't talked. We just reconnected like a month or so ago, but we've seen each other on social media and supported each other from afar. And so I was like, I think it would be great to have you as a guest. So now we've just reconnected and we're talking the same things. We're wearing the same things, because once you get into this space, you'll start to recognize people who are also light workers, and you'll become a light worker. You'll want to be around those people, and it'll make your life easier because they're not bringing all that negative energy and hate all in the place. So it's time for us to start being the person we want to be. We can't put it off any longer. So that's why this is a journey. We're 3 weeks in now. We've completed 2 full weeks of being in the state. We've set intention. So this week, I want you to look up chakras. I want you to look up the chakra system. That's the higher practice, to look up the chakra system. I want you to start considering the no wasp. Just try it one day, because we are going to, starting May 10th, we're going to do the 10 days together. And I don't want it to be a shock to your system. So now, there may have been a delay in reading the book or in reading up can you even name the 7 intentions? And next week we'll be doing journaling and daily affirmations. Wear your affirmations. Be who you want to be. Stop talking about it. And you can do it in so many different ways. So it's time to start animating that we are now, and not be talking about it as something out there or later or whatever. We're in preparation, but we're also being now. Be here now. So that's important. So again, this daily affirmation shirt, this is a Remarkable Wellness shirt. I'm going to show you the back because I love the back. You can't lose. You can't lose. All things are for your good. So when you're walking around, I can't tell you how many times I've worn this in the airport or at the store, or someone says, I forget I have it on. And they'll be like, you sure are remarkable. No, you sure are. And I'm like, thank you. Forget. I was like, oh yeah, I told them. And they told me back. See, that's giving and receiving, you know, or at the airport. And, oh, that's really cool. So, and then that makes me feel good. So now I have a few of them. So we haven't put the link in there if you are interested in a couple of the affirmations. I'm calling my affirmation shirts. Wear and be who you are. The last thing I'm gonna leave you with, because now it's time for change. Now, today, drink some water now. Google crystals now. Stop eating white flour today. Stop eating processed foods. Try that. You don't have to do all 4 of the no white flour, alcohol, sugar, processed food. Start with no white flour. I didn't say no carbs. I said no white flour. White flour is processed and it junks up this belly area. That's whole wheat flour, sprouted grain, rice, brown rice, potatoes. I mean, you can eat carbs, but white flour, because it's so processed, it stands alone. I say don't eat processed food, but it stands alone. So start eliminating the white flour. And I'm going to tell you, it's going to help your gut and it's going to help your head. And that clarity is going to be coming through. And I want to say, today is the day. Today is the day, because the life you want, we're all here because we want to be happy or happier. The life you want demands a change from the life you have. You can't just keep doing what you're doing and think that there's just going to be a sprinkle of magic that comes down. If you do what you do with loving intention, you got to add the intention with the awareness of the understandings and bringing spirit in it into everything. Well, then the magic does happen. That's the change that we want to make today. We can do it physically by adding these physical things and cleaning out our chakras and getting that energy and healing going. And we can do it spiritually and doing this meditation. Start doing it in the morning and start every once in a while in the evening. These are things you can start doing now. So start dabbing in each of these 7 intentions. Wear your affirmations, write your journals. And then when we start to do it, when we put them all together, power, 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 power. So one last question, how to self-start and motivate. I hope, read the 10 days, pick that book up. Pick that book up and start reading it. That's the first thing. Even if you've read it before, reread it. Because we need these jump starts. Put yourself around a powerful person or even an accountability partner. So if you said, oh, set up your one-on-one with me. Set up your one-on-one with me. If you need accountability, you need a grab, you need a inspiration, a kickstart that you haven't gotten so far from these 2 weeks, it's time to have that one-on-one. And and I've done this before. If you said, I want to start the 10 days tomorrow, would you do it with me? I don't have any problem. I try to live my life that way for the most part. But I don't always get over that 20 points. You know, I'm not as diligent, but when I do go in deep and I'm getting at 24 points a day, it takes me to the next level. But you have to take the first step. I will also say, and Shalice said something like this too, and I say it all the time. First, just say, and everyone say it out loud wherever you are, I am willing to do things differently. Like, let's just do this real quick. Just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and from your heart center, where true meaning of love to spirit to God, I am willing to do things differently. I am making a change today. Give me the inspiration or the motivation for this to happen now. And it is done. And then whenever you're feeling sluggish or threatened, detracted, something is taken away from, do it again. Ask and you will receive. The only time and way you don't receive is if there's a barrier or a block. And then check this out. Check in with your chakra system. I must be blocked because I'm not hearing anything. Oh, is it a pain in your stomach? Where are you blocked? Do the work. Like ask the question. So ask. Be willing to make a change to see things in this 80% unity loving way. I'm willing, then ask in spirit, and its supernatural power will help you. And then guess what? Like Shalice said, tools will start coming to you. Crystals will start throwing themselves at you. Books will fall off the shelves wanting you to read them. Someone will call and say, let me take you to the beach. And let's spend a day out there sun gazing and eating the DNA of the sun. So that willingness and that asking is everything. It's a mustard seed. It's that first step. This is the first step. So you being here, signed up for this and being here, please, that's no small thing. Give yourself credit for that. It's just so important. I always love doing this. I mean, I have such a good day. 229, that's my number. That's my birthday. See, that means something. And we're right on time today. So I hope you all feel as blessed as I do right now. Keep this with you the rest of the day and the rest of the week. Set up these one-on-ones, y'all. It's time to get going because we want this COVID era behind us. And just because everyone else is suffering doesn't mean we have to suffer. We want to get clean and healthy ourselves so then we can be the light and help stop their suffering. We do not exist alone. We exist in relationship to everyone else. And I did have another little story, but I'll save it for the next time. I honor you. I love you. Have a great week. Love and lights.